Hello ladies and gents, in this video we will see how we can use the batch mode of OData V2 in UI5. For that, let's revisit our onPress update product function. And first I will comment out everything except for this OModel variable. Let's comment out everything else. And now instead of preparing a payload ourselves like this, we will use another method which exists on our OData model, which is named submit changes. Now this method will submit all the pending changes on our model, but first we have to make some changes to our model so that whenever we make a change in the UI, that change is stored on the model itself. And for that we go to our manifest.json file, find our model definition here, and add another setting which is named default binding mode, and we will set it to two-way. And now we can make use of this submit changes method, but it's also a good idea to first check if we indeed have any changes that are pending. So we say if, and we have another method to check that, which is named has pending changes, and it will return a boolean, and only if it returns true, then we will call this submit changes function. And let's also copy our success and error event handlers here. Now let's go back to our app and try to update a product. Bread, for example. Let's make the price 2 instead of 2.5. Release date 2nd, and let's click on update. And now we see our requests as usual. Here is our update request, the count, and the request to fetch the updated product list. But our dialog is not closed and we don't see these messages here, which means these event handlers are not being invoked. To fix that, we need to enable the batch mode for our model. So let's get back to our manifest.json, and we already set it to false here since the default was true. And let's make it true again, save, and let's see what it changes. And we immediately notice here a batch request. Remember, before that we saw 2 requests here. Let me quickly disable it again. First we have our metadata request, and then we have a count to fetch the count of our products, which returns 9, and then we have the actual product list here. Now if we enable the batch mode again, we still have the metadata request as usual, but instead of 2 requests for the count and the product list, we now see 1. And what batch mode does is it basically bundles up several requests into one HTTP request. Now as you can see, it uses the HTTP method post. All batch requests are using post. And if we check our payload, we can see which requests are bundled in this batch request. First one here is a GET request, and it is to fetch the count of our products. And the other one you can see is also a GET request, and it's for fetching all our products. And if we check the response, we will also see several responses, 1 per request. The first one we can see we got back a 200 status code and we got back 9. And for the second one we have our product list in JSON here. Now let's try to update this spread again. Let's set it back to 2.5 and 1st of January, and update the rating maybe to 5. We click on update, and now we see another request. Let's check what we have. Now this is the one for fetching the categories in the edit product fragment, and here is the actual update request. And if we check, we have a merge request to this endpoint, which is an update request. And here we can see our payload. We have the release date update, rating, and the price. And we have another one to fetch the count of our products. and a third one to fetch the updated list of our products. And now if we check the responses, we should see 3 responses. For the first one, the merge request, we get a 400 badge request, but actually the update itself works, but we get this error since we are using a demo service. For the second one, which was for the count, we got 200, and for the list, again we have 200. As you can see, it goes without saying, but batch mode gives us an enormous advantage in terms of performance, because we can bundle multiple requests into one. And we can also see our messages are working again. Now let's go back to our app and quickly add an else statement here. So if we have no pending changes on our model, we can simply close our edit dialog without any action. And in here we will get back an error object. So let's make use of that. Instead of displaying a generic error message, we can say error.message here. And let's test that quickly as well. The case that we don't have any changes, we click on bread again. And if I click on update, we don't see any requests and the fragment is closed. That would be all for this video. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one, where we will get started with routing in UI5.